Hi, guys. Welcome back to Fridays Off. I am Sam.
And I am Traquan, aka Trey, aka me.
All right. Last week, we talked about basically how we met. We kind of eased you into our story, our friendship story. And this week, we are doing take two on why college is a scam. Because as we said in last week's episode, or last episode, we had recorded this already, but we just never shared our podcast. But this time we're gonna actually try and
Put it out there.
yes, and then just put ourselves out there for people to judge us. And all right. So, do you want to start in discussing why college is a scam, or do you want me to start? That's the topic, right?
Yes, but you can start off by, talk about your personal experience with college and what what made you come to the conclusion that college is a scam.
Yes. So, personally, my college experience was a roller coaster. Thankfully, now I have a really good job that I'm really grateful for, but that was just through luck and the grace of God and just connecting with the right people. Not even just finding the right thing at the right time. I will not attest it to college. But for me, I did undergrad for 4 years, and I majored in digital media. And from there, I was looking desperately for a job, couldn't find a job in my career field, ended up working at Urban Outfitters. I got an internship later on while I was like looking for a job, and it paid little to nothing. I went on so many interviews, did so many things, and I thought like right out of college, like I worked hard. I had a great GPA. I was an honor student. I thought like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to like get a job, like everything's going to be great. It's going to be hard, but not that hard. Like I'll be fine. Nope. I was searching, got went through so many interviews. And another thing I will say is you apply for so many jobs and they don't even have the common decency to get back to you at an appropriate time. I would apply for a job and 3 months later, not even, the worst was like 6 months later, they told me, "Sorry, we filled the position." I
Yeah.
just forgot about your company. Like, are you serious? And like some jobs, I would go through an interview process and I would go through like 2 or 3 rounds. And from those 2 or 3 rounds, I would follow up and would hear nothing back. Like the lack of respect that y'all have, people that are like hiring people, like, isn't there like a courtesy that you guys like? Is there a courtesy class that you guys can take or something? Because that job hunting process is so disrespectful and it's so long, and like everyone goes through it, but like nobody takes to, like, once they have their job, it's like people forget about that whole process, and they're like not considerate of people going through that process. It's so
Yeah.
annoying. But anyways, after college, I was going through that process, couldn't find a job for like a whole year. So I was doing research, meditating on it, praying on it, like, God, what do I do? Please help me. Lord, give me a sign. I'm living with my parents. Me and my dad, our relationship is like where we are better off loving each other from a distance because the similar personalities and like anger is not it. So like, can you make a way, because there is no way at this point. And through like research, I decided, which I'm about to contradict myself, but I decided to go to grad school. But I
But
did
this
this.
was before you kind of came to the realization that college was not what it's cracked out to be.
No, I knew college wasn't what it was cracked out to be. Well, I believed it even heavier after I knew it wasn't what it was cracked up to be before I applied to grad school. But this is why I applied to grad school. It was like strategic. I'm about to contradict myself, but I applied to grad school because just also as like a Black woman in America doing a lot of research, I was like basically like I like kind of got the idea from like what people were saying. Like your college degree is basically like a high school degree. Nobody really cares. Everybody's going to college. Everybody's getting a degree. Like you're
And
not
by
really
college
standing out.
degree, you mean bachelor's degree?
Yeah, getting your bachelor's is like whatever. It's
Mhm.
like getting a diploma, like a GED diploma, whatever. It's like just the basics. And as a black woman, you having like you competing with other people, they're not going to choose you because there's nothing that makes you stand out and you're a person of color, you know? So there's like nothing that's like putting you ahead. So like why would they hire you basically? And then if you look at my name on a job application, Samuel Cherry, yeah, she sounds black and she sounds foreign. We're probably not going to hire her. Anyways, I was just thinking, I'm already in a hole. I have this debt and I need to find a job and no one's hiring me. I need to do something strategically to like help me stand out. The internship that I have now, even though it's like at a creative agency, it was a startup. It's not getting me the connections that I need. So I need to find a place or a way that I can make those connections, do what I need to do, and get a job, land something.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go to grad school. Maybe not the smartest idea, but for me, that's what I felt like was the best idea. And I wanted to go to a school that, because I'm a visual designer, so I studied digital media in undergrad, and in grad school I studied advertising in a focus in art direction. So I wanted to be strategic. So I looked for like schools that had a good name, had a good reputation. I would be able to like get the connections and do everything that I needed to do to like get myself out there. And I decided to go to either SCAD or Pratt. I got into both, thank God. Well, first I got rejected from SCAD, but then I did an appeal process and then I got accepted. But I
I
got
remember
accepted.
we were working on your portfolio.
Yes. Like I started at my thing is when I'm determined to do something, I will figure out how to do it. Cause like my background wasn't in graphic design or anything or visual design. I did digital media, which was like broadcasting and like journalism and all that stuff. But through an internship that I had, I found that I really love design. So I taught myself everything and I built a portfolio from scratch, just like from watching videos and learning stuff. And you're thinking, well, why didn't you take those assets and then find a job through doing that? But it's harder than it looks. Without connections, there's no real way for you to get a job. I needed those connections, and my logic was go to grad school and make those connections. So I got into SCAD. I would say, as stupid as college is, I feel like with my grad school, it was more like, how do I explain this? You're in grad school, but you are actually in your career field. You're actually making the connections. We're actually putting you in agencies where you can work with people that you would work with in the future after school.
Yeah, they were
Um,
developing you.
yes, and you're making connections with my grad school. It was like a school like preparing you for life. So you were working at agencies with real clients, with real projects. They were actually putting us in that atmosphere, which college only scratches the level of like where you should be when you graduate.
Yeah.
And I feel like they suck with the whole college situation. But my grad school, they like put us in the environment. We were working on things. We were actually working with these people. We were actually making connections. And I feel like that's how college should be, but it's not. So we were actually working with these people. We were actually making connections. And I think that's what helped me with my the school I went to. And I did a lot of research when deciding what school to go to. And I was reading a lot about how SCAD is like more like a hands-on school, and they teach you like the arts, but they also put you in those environments to like do the work and everything. And then with working with these people, they know you, so they see the work that you do, they see your professionalism, they see you through like briefs, like through projects that you do. and they see you work and they remember you. And SCAD did that a lot, connecting, not to like promote SCAD like I'm being paid for this, but they like really made it as to you were getting a preview of like what your day to day as an adult would be in this career field. And that is why I think I got the job that I have now. Because one, it was by pure luck because the pandemic then messed up everything. It was by pure luck that I found this listing for my job hiring. I don't want to say what my job, but I'm just a creative designer at this agency. But I just had found it on LinkedIn by sheer luck, and I had connections with people that work there through SCAD. I got those connections because like we would interact with them on a like consistent level, so they knew me. And so they're just like, I'm saying a lot, but through the hiring process, they were just like, oh, you know, so and so. Oh, I met you. And oh, you've worked with so and so and you know this person. So through that is how I got my job. I completely attest my job through like knowing the right people and SCAD, which is grad school. But like, I wish college was like how SCAD did things. I wish college was more like that,
Yeah.
like more like giving you the experience because that's all jobs want. And I
Right.
realize college is a
Exactly.
scam because I see people that are, for example, my partner's mom did not go to freaking college. She worked her way up and she is a boss now. She is a front end engineer, or she was, but now like she's like the head of a team, and she did that by working her way up and through experience and connecting with people. She didn't do that through college. So if college was more like getting you connected and actually doing the work, like how SCAD is, then college wouldn't be such a scam because you're actually working and you're actually gaining the experience and you're actually like doing the work and doing everything instead of like just sitting in a classroom.
You know
I
what
feel
I
like,
think it is? I
yeah,
think at one point college was only available to a certain group of people, and so jobs were like, okay, we require a college degree because
yeah,
they were able to control like who they were able to say like, okay, only these type of people have degrees, and
mm-hmm.
so these are the people we're gonna let get jobs. But now college is super expensive, and everyone can go to college, take out the debt or whatever, but the job field is just so competitive, and degrees don't tell employers anything
Yeah,
other than the fact that you went to school for
yeah,
a certain amount of time, but they don't really tell employers that you're able to work with people or even do the specific job that you're applying for. So I think that's a big reason why college is. I have a hard time saying that college is a scam. It's not completely a scam because there are fields where you want someone to have
yeah,
a degree, but in a lot of cases, it's not as necessary as it once was. It's
yes.
really not.
But like, listen, but with those degrees that you like, with those degrees, like those doctor degrees or lawyer degrees, what do? They put them out in the field
Right. Yeah.
so they know what they're doing. They don't do that with our like people that are in like creative, like visual designs or like public relations or things like that. They don't do that with us. We're just sitting in a classroom and hoping for the best. Those people that like jobs that like you should go to college for, like being a
Doctors,
doctor,
nurses.
nurses, all that stuff, they're being put into that environment so the people that they're going to be working with know them, know that they have the experience, have worked with them, trust in their work ethic, trust in like that they know that they're going to do the job correctly because you were in that environment and we helped you learn and we helped you through this. So yeah, we're going to trust that you're going to do a good job cuz like we watched you, we taught you like in the environment. They
Right.
don't do that with us. So like for us,
We had to do internships, but that wasn't much.
and that wasn't like the school wasn't helping us with these internships. We were finding them on our own. We were doing all of this on our own. They weren't like people that like the people that go to like to become a doctor, they do like clinicals and stuff.
Right. It's required
SCAD,
for them. Yeah.
yes. SCAD, they were our professors were required to like put us into those environments, required to do that. And I feel like more schools should do that. Because if you're telling people to go to college, there should be an incentive. They should be like a thing like where, hey, you are going to like be in that environment. You are gonna experience, you are going to be doing the work. You're not just gonna be sitting in the classroom. These people that are going to be your future colleagues, you're going to be working under them like while you're in school so they can see you develop, and you will get a job through whatever company that you may be working for, or like through connections, because these people can vouch for you and they know that you have the experience. That's college sucks. College sucks. But what was your experience, Trey?
Mine was actually really similar to yours. So I went and got my bachelor's, and the plan, I had already known that I was going to do more school.
Mm-hmm.
So I had just applied to grad school and got in and just went. I didn't even think about what my future would be like, but I knew that something was up because when I got my bachelor's, I would apply to jobs and internships, and I just wouldn't get anything. It was so discouraging because I'm like, okay, I spent 4 years doing this and now I can't even get an internship. So then I went to grad school and I was very disappointed with my school's program. It just wasn't good, like at all. Even my mom at one point, she was like, it was over winter break after my first semester. She was like, I don't think you should go back. She actually said that. And I probably should have taken that seriously because it it wasn't worth my time and money.
Why
It
did you
really,
go back?
why did I? Just
Yeah.
because I was already there, and just stopping after my first semester felt so like, I don't know. I didn't want to feel like a quitter, but I knew I should have just stopped and applied to other places because it wasn't worth the money and the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't learn much.
Why do you
Everything,
think you'd be a quitter though? I mean, it's not you were just like it's
right,
not benefiting you.
right, exactly. And I had a very valid reason for stopping,
Mhm.
and I should have because I didn't learn much. And my program, the communications program, was going through so many changes, and it was just a horrible time to go into that program. Like I remember signing up and then registering for classes and realizing that none of the classes I was planning on taking were even offered
On
residentially.
campus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I
this was
didn't know that.
pre-COVID.
This was pre-COVID. So I had already signed a lease and got a job. And I'm like, I didn't even need to do this. I didn't even need to move back to Lynchburg. So
Mhm.
that was part of my experience. And so I went through that for, my first year of grad school pretty much. And then I moved back here and finished the rest in Richmond
Mhm.
online. But yeah, I'm just having a hard time finding jobs, and experience is seems to be more valued than
Yes.
education, which is understandable, but I didn't know that before starting. I'm like, okay, I'm getting a master's, like I should be good.
Yeah.
Like I know the bachelor, everyone has a bachelor's, so that's why I'm not, really getting much, but I just got a master's.
Yeah.
Even while I was getting my master's, I thought that would look good on applications and even with internships, but like nothing was working.
No,
So,
people want you to have your PhD and 50 years of experience.
oh my
But
gosh.
and then you have some of those people that say, "Well, you should be gaining that experience and making those connections while you're in college." But you don't understand that some people, majority of people, are working to stay afloat while they're in college, you know? So you're working and you're going to class. You may not always have the time to go to those events where you're like connecting with people because you have like a shift at work. Like there's so many things that people are like doing and like juggling with. So I feel like it should be a requirement for colleges to set aside that time, maybe like the first 2 weeks you're in class, like preparing for the in like the environmental like study that you guys are going to do. It should be a requirement for like teachers to, in whatever field that it is, for example the creative field that I'm in, for like graphic designers, visual designers, it should be required for professors to connect with these different agencies, these different places that these students could actually do the work. That's what college should be like. But unfortunately, it's not. So for me, if you're creative, if you're anything besides a doctor or a lawyer, I don't even think you should be going to college. I think you should be working your way up as an intern. Like you're 18, you're still living with your parents. If you're an intern for like those 4 years, you will start as an intern. By year 2 or 3, you're gonna be like a junior creative,
Yeah.
and by the time your peers are getting out of college, you're already at a mid or senior level at that point.
Yeah, for
You
real.
already worked your way up while they're getting out of college, struggling to find jobs. When I have children, they're not going to have a college fund. They're going to have a future fund. So, whatever you decide to do with your future, you're going to have money to back it up, and you're not going to be required to go to college because your mama went to college and it was a booty hole experience.
Yeah, and don't even
Aside
get
from SCAD, but SCAD is like a one in a million thing. Not all schools do that.
yeah. Also the fact that you take out loans
Ooh,
and you just get into this huge financial commitment for what?
to get a job that's gonna pay you
That might not even pay
40,000.
you that might not even pay you enough to even live, you know?
Yes,
On top of that, like pay student loans.
it's a really crappy situation.
Yeah, and I just think in the future, like even in the next few years, things are going to change with like how college is, because more and more people are realizing that it's not, like I'm hearing of more high schoolers now realize, like knowing that they don't have to go to college, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was in high school, and we graduated the same year, but you probably had students in your class who said they weren't going to college and you looked at them like they were crazy and
Yes,
people judged them. But
yes.
I know so many people that didn't go and they're fine. You know, they're doing better than I am.
They're probably
Like for
definitely
real.
happy.
Yeah, with no student loans, and they have good jobs, and they're doing fine. So it's really not necessary. And I think in the future, it's really, colleges are going to have to change a lot of things. A lot.
Yes.
More and more students are going to start going to community college, their first 2 years, or just not going at all. So I'm interested to see how the whole college thing changes. And I think it's going to change really quickly,
Yeah.
especially after this pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But if I could do anything differently, I would have definitely fought for more experience in undergrad. I just didn't know it would be like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have tried a little harder. I mean, over the summers, I tried to get internships, but I would always get denied. And I just don't understand why I was getting denied
Because our
for.
school was bad at like preparing us for these things, and like they that's another thing, SCAD. If you like, they had so many opportunities for you to connect with people and get internships, and like while working with these people on real projects, they'd be like, oh, we have an opening for an internship, and that's how like people would easily get internships, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our school didn't like because we went to the same school for undergrad. Our school did not provide that whatsoever. Our school just let us fend for ourselves. They could really care. I feel like our school was about the money. Give me your dollars, and just go to class.
I also I think a lot of it had to do with our program too, because while we were in the communication department, it was just going through a lot of changes, and it was just like a horrible time to be in that program. Honestly,
Garbage.
it was a really bad time.
I wish I had transfer schools. Like I wanted to transfer schools, but then I was thinking about like, which is a dumb reason, but I was thinking about like the friends that I made and like not seeing them and like starting somewhere new. I should have just did it, but coulda, shoulda, whatever that is, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like I can't change it now, but like for future people, I would definitely tell them to think about it before you go to college because it's not what it's cracked up to be. The cons I feel
Or at least
outweigh the pros, huh?
I was gonna say, or at least just do your first 2 years of community college and
Yeah,
really just think about, whether that's something you really want to commit to or not. Because that way
yeah,
you save a lot of money and you get the college experience. Just it's better financially.
yeah. With these big schools, you're just paying for the experience. You're not paying for there's nothing extra. You're like paying for the experience.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to like Harvard or like Yale or something. Yeah, the name
And
has weight to it.
my family's asking me if I want to get a third degree, and they're like, "Oh, you'll really get a good job then." And I'm like, "That's the problem. Like, I shouldn't have to get all these degrees and spend all this money just to. What am I proving to anyone?
Yeah.
I don't.
And
I
I
can't.
feel like you no, you should just get the experience.
Yeah,
Degrees aren't cutting it. Like people don't really care about degrees now. They don't.
and I want more people to understand this because I have a cousin, and my family's always asking him when he's going back to college, and he talks about it. But I'm like, I tell him all the time, like, you're fine. Like, you do not have to, because he's working for a really good company and he's moved up and he's making decent money. And I'm like, unless you need it to get to the next position you want to get, like, it's not, you don't have to do it. You really don't.
Like what is college going to do with his job? They be like, "Okay, you got a degree." It's
Right.
not going to your degree doesn't get you a pay raise. It really doesn't.
In some jobs, it does, which is, I don't like that. I don't like that jobs are like, in order to move up, you need to get a degree because the job can just train you.
Mhm.
They're going to train you anyway. That's why college is so unnecessary because any job you get is going to train you. That's why yeah, they're just going to train you. So
And you know how much you can learn on your own through like the internet, through YouTube, and like through just having mentors.
yeah,
I
I've
learned
learned.
so much from like my mentors watching YouTube videos and just connecting with people. Like going on LinkedIn and like seeing people with the careers that I want in the future and the jobs that I'm looking for and just having like informational meetings with them, connecting with them, asking, what are you reading? What are you looking at? Who are people I should be following? Who are people I should be connected with? Can we like build a relationship? Having those mentors and them showing me like different things in my career fields and just like doing that had taught me so much more. And like actually working with like when I did like freelance for a little bit and some internships, actually working and actually like talking to people in that did so much more than college ever did.
Yeah.
College did not teach me diddly squat.
Yeah,
Diddly squat.
I've learned so much through YouTube and reading and just doing research on my field. Way more than grad school taught me. Oh my gosh. I really don't think I learned much in grad school. It was just more about getting the assignments done.
Yep.
But that
That
could
was
also
me in
be because
undergrad.
I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I got my degree online too. Because I didn't learn a ton online.
Hmm.
That's just not the way I'm built to do school.
Even my professors at SCAD, like my dean, I was telling her because I was going to get my MFA at first, And I talked to her and she's like, why are you trying to get your MFA? And I was just like, I don't know. It just sounds better, a bigger degree. She's like, girl, just get your MA in this year, get the experience with the people that we're working with, make those connections with the people that you're gonna be working with. Let them see like how good you are as a designer, and that's all you need. She's like, don't waste your money getting an MFA.
Yeah.
She's like, you're here to show them your work, show them how good you are, and to get out with a job. She's like, don't waste your money doing that. And we need more professors like that. We need more people like that. She was just like, don't waste your money. Do not waste your time. Because these people do not care about you having an MFA. They want to see that experience and they want to see that you're bomb at what you do.
Yeah.
So use this time to show them while you're working with them, and that is what's going to help you. That extra letter in your like degree is not going to do anything. And I
Right.
was like, thank you, girl. Thank you, because you saved me money and you saved me time and stress.
Yeah. That was really good of her to tell you that, to just keep it real with you, because
Yes.
she was basically telling you the experience is what's more valuable.
Yeah. And she was basically saying that's what SCAD is here for.
Yeah.
um you know, and I see so many undergrad SCAD students that are doing so many things that I was not doing in undergrad.
Yeah.
And like they're already like senior, by the time they're seniors, they've already been like working in this industry and working with people that they have those jobs, you know? And they
Yeah.
have like their own businesses. And I'm seeing these people and I'm just like, why didn't I go to a school like this?
Yeah.
And I work with people that went to SCAD, like people at my job, they went to SCAD in their undergrad, and they talked about like how they were like working while they were in school because SCAD requires you to do that. They put you in the field, and they graduated with jobs.
That's awesome.
And I was just like, why didn't I come here sooner? But not all schools are like that, and that's what sucks. That's why I'm saying it's not, unless you go to a school like that, it really doesn't count for anything.
Right. And Liberty has the worst reputation.
Yep.
Like, I
Yep.
can't think of a school with a worse reputation than Liberty. So that's something I'm super insecure about when I apply to jobs. I'm like, oh gosh, like they have to see that I went to
Liberty.
the most controversial school in the
Yes.
country. And I know people that have done interviews. I think Greg said he did like 3 interviews where people asked him about certain situations at Liberty.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
I had one interview though that I didn't like.
Why?
I didn't like this guy at all. So I was talking about, it was for a design position. Mind you, I'm this black girl that's applying to work at this predominantly white company. It was a Christian company. And I was telling him how I went to SCAD for my master's and everything. I had like a, to set the scene, I had like a head wrap on, but like I was dressed professional. I just had like a head wrap, but I don't think a head wrap is unprofessional. So like I did not care. I was like, I'm gonna wear my head wrap and I'm gonna have my blazer and I'm gonna look cute.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got into the interview, I already knew. I already sensed his energy. And he was just like, the first thing he said was just like, oh, we have like a certain person that we want to work at our company. They don't necessarily have to be Christian, but they have to have the same values that we uphold at this company. I was just like, that's the first thing he said to me. And
Mm.
I was, after like introducing ourselves, and I was like, what? You don't even know me, and you're just assuming that I'm not Christian, but okay, cool. And like, I have to have certain values. You don't even know my core values. We said 2 words together to each other. I said, hi, how are you doing? Yes, my name is Samuela Cherry, whatever. Or my name is Sam. I don't even think I gave him my full name. But then after that, I was talking about my schooling, and then I mentioned how I went to Liberty, and he was like, "You went to Liberty? I cannot believe that you went to Liberty." He was like, "That's one of our clients, one of the people that we work with really close." I was just like, okay, I don't even want this job. This is terrible. This is horrible. Yes, it's a no for me. But that's the only time like me saying that I went to Liberty was like uh a good thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have to like kind of warm up people like, yeah, or forewarn people that was my undergrad. But best believe on the top of my resume, SCAD is up there. Not no Liberty. You got Liberty all the way at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Going to Liberty was
It
also
wasn't
like
a
not the best decision.
yeah.
At least for grad school for me. Yeah.
I wish people didn't feed into our heads that that was the only option for us.
Yeah, and people just made it seem like student loans were normal and that you should
Yeah.
just do it just because that's what you got to do. But
Yeah.
no, it should not be like that, and
Nope.
it's going to change.
But
So
yeah. Well, overall, school is trash, in my opinion. I had kind of a contradictory opinion. I would say I just wish school was different.
yeah,
Yes. But I guess the part two of this will be our advice for people. And yeah, so this was the second episode of Fridays Off. We hope that you listened up until this point. So have a good weekend and adios.